Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake is made possible by
Hi, my name is Jeremy Colbert. I am the Vice President of Ray Corporation, located here in the Mid-American Industrial Park. From the farm kid growing up on a farm in Gage, Oklahoma, never would imagine myself sitting here today. 12 years ago, when I first got out of school and was looking to enter the workforce, when I thought of industrial, I thought of probably like most people, that just a dirty workplace. You know, after being in the industry for, I guess, going on 15 years now, I've learned that it's anything but that. There's all kinds of opportunities. It's exciting. Talking to high school kids who are trying to decide what they want to do when they first got out of high school, I would encourage you to come out here in the industrial park. One, you're going to have an opportunity not only to make more money, but you're going to have the opportunity to have a career. It's been a great opportunity for me and my family. The Mid-American Industrial Park is creating careers and changing lives.
also by
Electricity makes our everyday lives more convenient. We all know it costs more to fill your gas tank, buy prescriptions, and even go to the doctor. In the last decade, gasoline costs rose 11% every year. A dozen eggs increased in cost nearly 8%. Your electricity? It only rose on average less than 5% each year. Your local electric cooperative works hard to keep your electric service safe, affordable, and reliable. Discover the power of your co-op membership.
and by
After finishing high school, I immediately got married and started my family. Without a college degree, I found that pretty quickly my options were limited. When I started looking around for a college program for working adults, I quickly found that Rogers State was a great fit. They worked with me to get financial aid, offered classes that fit my busy schedule, and gave me personalized attention that I couldn't get at a larger school. Rogers State definitely started me on my professional career.
as well as by
The Grand River Dam Authority is Oklahoma's state-owned electric utility, fully funded by revenues from electric and water sales instead of taxes. GRDA Electricity touches 75 of 77 counties in the state and serves as an economic development engine for all of Oklahoma. At no cost to taxpayers, GRDA also manages 70,000 surface acres of lakes, including Grand Lake, Lake Hudson, and the W.R. Hallway Reservoir. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity in Oklahoma.
and by viewers and members like you.
This week, we get a bird's eye view of Grand Lake. Visit a newly remodeled marina and meet a Grand Lake girl who's happy to be back on the lake she calls home.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake!
This is Living Grand
on Grand Lake.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Hi, I'm Christy Wallace, and this is Living Grand on Grand Lake, brought to you by Mid-America Industrial Park. We've shown you the lake by land, we've shown you by water, but today we're going to show you by air as we parachute over Grand Lake for an experience you won't soon forget.
About 22 years ago, my wife bought a sailboat because I fell in love with doing that, and we started here on Grand Lake, and then we started in the retail business selling Hobies and sunfish and things like that, and just fell in love with the area. Started working with Shangri-La on the rentals, and kind of grew from there. It's just got bigger every year and better every year. No, we live in Joplin. My dad would come down to number 10. Right there we had a little cabin, we'd fish a lot. Had no idea what was south of Sailboat Bridge, what was going on the south end of the lake or this area here. So we just kind of fell in love with it. We loved coming down here. I had a transportation company for 20 years. We were down here every weekend. And then we joined the sailing club, and we'd spend the weekends on the boat with the kids, and just thought, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to retire. We have the wave runners that we rent, 3-passenger wave runners, and we have the pontoon boats and tri-toon boats, which are just a little bit bigger. We have the ski boat, the Yamaha ski boats. Then we do the parasailing, and we also have a sailboat that we still rent that we had original 20 years ago. It's one that we bought when we first fell in love with it. And this year we put in a fishing boat because, you know, Grand Lake just gets more and more popular with the fishing, and we get a lot more calls on it, so we've got a real nice fishing boat this year. And then we also have the Blue Water Yacht. We've done that for the last 16 years. Oh, it's a fun time. We have a lot of family reunions, birthday parties, bachelorette parties, and there's a lot of people that just have, some of them have their own boats, but they're always having to drive and be responsible, so they just, you know, come out with their family and they enjoy it instead of having to work, and we do all the work for them with captain and crew. Well, I like parasailing because it doesn't take any skill on the person that's participating. All they have to do is just kind of sit there and enjoy the ride. And we've parasailed from ages 5 to 85. Anybody can do it. We put them on the boat and we put them in a harness. We give them a little instruction, and basically that's just how to sit there and enjoy the ride. You come right off the boat, go right back on the boat without getting wet. It's just a great, great time. It's a great view of the lake, 500 feet in the air, and it's really quiet and peaceful up there. So we have a lot of people come back every year and just do it because they love doing it so much.
I felt like I wasn't strapped to anything. I just felt I was flying. The wind whipped around sometimes and it felt amazing.
It was a lot of fun. It was really cool to see Grand Lake in a different view.
Absolutely.
I've never been up that high.
Felt weightless. It was awesome. Indescribable feeling.
It was amazing. Just words can't even explain it. It was awesome. The view, the water, like the water level right now is so high and it's amazing. Just never seen Grand Lake like that before.
It was gorgeous.
Was it scary?
No, the wind whipping around, it was kind of fun. So
she might have got scared a couple times.
He did, not me, I promise.
I just like it because it's quiet, nice. It's not like you're flying, you're suspended, and it's just a great view of what's going on. It's just really relaxing. It's only a 10-minute ride, but it's really, really great. Well, I mean, obviously they have a beautiful golf course, and if I ever had the time to play it, I would realize that too, but it's a beautiful course. But I just think it's the lake and it's the people. I live in Joplin, but basically most of my friends and acquaintances are here because, you know, they're just outgoing and friendly, helpful in every way, and that's what I first noticed when we first came down here. And what kind of attracted me to the island is because people were just out there and helpful. It's a great job. It's a great job. We have a lot of people that came down. As a matter of fact, we had somebody I talked to yesterday that said, you know, we used to rent from you all the time. We came down, we bought our own boat, and we bought a place here. So, you know, that's just a perfect example of someone coming down and experiencing the lake, falling in love with it, buying a home, and, you know, if it's a second home or it's your permanent home, it's, the grandkids absolutely love it, just like my kids grew up on the water. It's just a different lifestyle, and it's really a fun lifestyle.
Well, I've skied Grand, I've surfed Grand, and now I can't wait to parachute on Grand. Up next, we're going to check out the newly renovated Southwinds Marina on Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Hello, welcome to Island Fever Sailing School. I'm Captain Debbie Graham, and this is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
I can't be boss. That's better, yeah. On the Grand Lake, every day, working on the docks, yeah, 918. Boom. That's a wrap. That's all. That's all.
Bad.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Colbert. I am the Vice President of Ray Corporation, located here in the Mid-American Industrial Park. From the farm kid growing up on a farm in Gage, Oklahoma, never would imagine myself sitting here today. 12 years ago, when I first got out of school and was looking to enter the workforce, when I thought of industrial, I thought of probably like most people, that just a dirty workplace. You know, after being in the industry for, I guess, going on 15 years now, I've learned that it's anything but that. There's all kinds of opportunities. It's exciting. I'm talking to high school kids who are trying to decide what they want to do when they first got out of high school. I would encourage you to come out here in the industrial park. One, you're going to have an opportunity not only to make more money, but you're going to have the opportunity to have a career. It's been a great opportunity for me and my family. The Mid-American Industrial Park is creating careers and changing lives.
Hello, our safety tip for today is boating at night. Boating at night brings us many challenges that we don't face during the daytime. The number one thing that I want to talk about is being visible. We have a red and green light on the front of the boat, and we have a white light on the rear of the boat. The red and green lights on the front of our boat allows other boaters to see which direction we're going and know how to navigate when they see us at night. The white light in the back, obviously they can see us if they're coming from the rear of the boat, but it also, if we have just a white light on the back of the boat, means that that boat is anchored, and that's a different aspect of how we need to face that situation. Another thing to remember is we have to keep those lights running. Keep spare bulbs in the boat, keep things to keep those going, like tools or spare bulbs. Nighttime navigation is a learning process, and we need to educate ourselves. One way we can do that is GRDA offers boating ed classes. They're required for the kids, but it's a great idea for the adults to come and get involved in that and learn things that we might have overlooked. That's our safety tip for today.
Time now for the Grand Lake Chronicles events page. It's always big on the 4th of July at Grand Lake. Sponsored by the Grove Chamber of Commerce, we hope you'll attend the annual Arts and Crafts Cajun Festival. All day long you'll enjoy crafts, food, handcrafted jewelry, Native American art, and of course, jambalaya! Plus, Grand Lake's favorite fiddle player, Jana J, will provide the entertainment. Contact the Grove Civic Center for more information at 918-786-8896. Don't miss the best show on the lake. It's the Duck Creek Fireworks. If you were there last year, then you know it's the best show in the state. You won't want to miss the festivities, an F-16 flyover along with the famous warbirds. The fireworks begin at dusk. July 25th, Arrowhead Yacht Club and Boat Sales is hosting a Cobalt Customer Appreciation Splash Bash in Ketchum Cove. Call 918-782-3292 for more information.
Glad you're still with us on Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake. So boy comes to lake, boy loves lake, and boy ditches corporate career just to move to lake. Sound familiar? Everybody has a story on Grand Lake, and this is Ted's story.
I asked one of the St. Clair family who's previously owned a marina on Grand, I said, so, you know, I need some advice, I need some guidance, I'm gonna buy a marina, and the response was, don't do it. But I did it anyway. I'm actually from Neodesha, Kansas. Moved to Neodesha in 1985 where I was in the plastics business. I have 2 children in Neodesha that were working in the business, and basically it was just time for me to go away. So I was going to buy a yacht in the British Virgin Islands for my retirement years, and for some reason I came to Bernice and looked at Southwinds Marina, and I ended up with a marina instead of a yacht. I don't know that I ever really had a grand plan before I bought it, but when we purchased it, and I say we because our staff is just phenomenal, it probably was in a position to either be bulldozed or pray for yet another tornado to roll through here. And I guess it's the grand plan is resurrection. And I'd say at this point, with the help of a bunch of good people, we're about a third there. One of the reasons why I picked this marina to purchase was the fact that it was previously owned by an electrician, and it already had encapsulated flotation. And the rules on styrofoam docks are much more rigid in marinas than they are on individual owners. And I like this because we didn't have to go through the process of updating all the docks to encapsulated foam. So we have Sun Tracker and Bass Buggy pontoons. We carry the Tahoe, which is a fiberglass runabout. We carry the Mako, which is a center console skiff. Interestingly enough, the Tahoe and the Mako are manufactured in Miami, Oklahoma. And then we carry the queen of luxury pontoons, the Regency 254 LE, which is the most luxury bang for the buck as you can find in a pontoon anywhere. Well, Bookham's is, let's just describe it as rock and roll. Breakfast at 7. Our breakfast here last year was often standing room only. We'll have that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then long about dusk, the bar heats up, and we've got our infamous drink, the 5-0, which is part of the Bookham Dano Hawaii 5-0 theme.
Bookham Dano. Wait a minute.
We're scheduling live bands to come in at least every other weekend this summer. We're looking forward to having a lot of fun over there. The view from our restaurant, Bookham's deck, you can't see a house on Horse Creek without binoculars. And we have about a 230-degree view, and you cannot see a house. And that's one of the things I know that enthralled me, was the view from that deck. Well, it's my dream, and when I started this, a lot of people that are close to me just thought I was absolutely crazy. And if I told you that was the first time those people thought I was crazy, I'd be fibbing. But over the last 8 months, everybody started getting into it. And the support I get from the people at my plastics business is just phenomenal. They make me signs and stuff that not even I could dream up. So, like my kids, they're here, if not every weekend, every other weekend. They both have boat slips here. So we're having a lot of fun.
So whether it's by land or by grand, be sure you check out South Winds Marina on your next trip to the lake. We'll be right back on Living Grand on Grand Lake, presented by Mid-America Industrial Park.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake. Yeah.
The Grand River Dam Authority is Oklahoma's state-owned electric utility, fully funded by revenues from electric and water sales instead of taxes. GRDA electricity touches 75 of 77 counties in the state and serves as an economic development engine for all of Oklahoma. At no cost to taxpayers, GRDA also manages 70,000 surface acres of lakes, including Grand Lake, Lake Hudson, and the W.R. Hallway Reservoir. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity in Oklahoma.
You two look happy? Is there anything else I can get for you? Okay.
Cherokee Casino and Hotel, West Siloam Springs. The feeling stays with you.
Well, I'm glad you're still with us on Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake. You know, some would say city life's not all it's cracked up to be. Just ask Mary Pryor, who's grateful to move back to the lake she calls home.
My grandpa loved this lake. He loved it tremendously. And when I was a little girl, he had a Century boat, and it had gold kind of shimmery seats. And he would take me by boat over to Shangri-La. And that was kind of where the big thing was at the time, back in the 70s. My grandma was big into like Business Professional Women's Club. She started a program for children called Alias Santa Claus. And so she helped the community a lot way back in the day, like in the early 70s. And they wanted to retire here and they wanted to pass away here, and that's what they did. My grandpa was a World War II veteran, and he met Leonard Miller, who is a dentist, used to be a dentist, and he started Lindenwood Gardens. He also started a dental office in Grove, and in the back there's a Japanese garden in the back. And my grandpa was in World War II. He went to Japan and he brought back sketches from Japan, and he was talking to Dr. Miller, and he said, do you have any, anything you brought back? And he's like, I brought these sketches back. So that kind of inspired Dr. Miller to start the gardens. The very first person who ever told me that I could write was my Grove middle school teacher, Debbie Gallier. She's now Debbie Toddy. And our first writing assignment was, she asked me to write about what happened this summer, what had happened over the summer. It was a class assignment, and that next Monday she called me up to her desk, and I thought I was in trouble. I thought I did something wrong. And she said, did you know you could write? And I said, no. And she's like, you can really write, sweetheart. And I said, okay. So it was something I always knew that I had. I graduated Grove High School in 1991. I ended up getting a theater scholarship to Northeastern Oklahoma A&M College over in Miami, and I did theater there for 2 years, and everybody said the same thing, you're so funny, you should be a comedian. I wanted to move to a major U.S. city. That's always what I wanted to do. And I found out about Second City Improv, which is where all the writers and performers from Saturday Night Live, most of them come from. So I didn't know anybody, and I didn't have a job, and I moved to downtown Chicago on my own, Dearborn and Division, and signed up for classes at Second City, and that's what I did for about 2 years. I went into banking because that's where all comedians go for their comedy dream to die. You go into banking, and so I did that. But they taught me skills on how to be an administrative assistant, so I kind of went that path and realized you can kind of still do comedy and writing and things like that, but you have to have something to pay the bills. I came back here about 1.5 years ago, and I'd really only been to Grove. And when I got the writing jobs, I would just travel all around Grand Lake, and I got to know a lot of the marina people, and I didn't even know that they sold boats on this lake. And when somebody first told me how much, like, $25 million worth of boats or something, I was like, on this lake? They're like, yeah. Then I start finding out things like there's the rock crawling event, the big meat run, and that's insane to go over there at the bottom of the dam and watch that. And then you start meeting these nice people that want to see you succeed and want to help you. And I found people who have retired here from South Africa, from Morocco, from England. There was a guy who could have retired in Belize last year, but he chose Grand Lake. When you stop and you start really looking around and getting to know the people and getting to know exactly where the places are and the things to do are, you don't want to go, you don't want to leave. I think a lot of people like the laid-back atmosphere here. I think that's a big draw for people. There's kind of 3 parts to the lake. There's the south end, there's Monkey Island, and then there's Grove, the north end. And kind of Grove's a little more quiet and conservative, and then there's Monkey Island, which is kind of they're crazy in their own way, but it's a good crazy. And then there's South Grand, where they're just kind of, they celebrate the lake a lot. I shall say that. They have raft outs and they go a little crazier, but I think it's just a good variety because it's such a small area, but in so many ways it's big. I wanted to come back because I wanted the chance to write, and I fell in love with the people and the places and the things to do, and I don't want to go back to the city. I want to see it grow. I like to connect the dots of people. Now that I kind of know a lot of people, I'll be like, well, if you want somebody to sponsor this event, maybe you should call this person, and I'm happy to do that. That makes me happy, and then an event grows or the area grows, and if you're even a small part of that, how awesome is that? Something to leave behind and something that you kind of go like, yeah, I kind of helped there, and that makes you feel good. That's what makes me feel good.
So I always feel like any day on Grand Lake is truly a grand day. We've had such a great show. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can catch up on any shows you've missed at rsu.tv or tune in next week on Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Mid-America's Industrial Parks Living Grand on Grand Lake is made possible by
Hi, my name is Jeremy Colbert. I am the Vice President of Ray Corporation, located here in the Mid-American Industrial Park. From the farm kid growing up on a farm in Gage, Oklahoma, never would imagine myself sitting here today. 12 years ago, when I first got out of school and was looking to enter the workforce, when I thought of industrial, I thought of probably like most people, that just a dirty workplace. You know, after being in the industry for, I guess, going on 15 years now, I've learned that it's anything but that. There's all kinds of opportunities. It's exciting. I'm talking to high school kids who are trying to decide what they want to do when they first got out of high school. I would encourage you to come out here in the industrial park. One, you're going to have an opportunity not only to make more money, but you're going to have the opportunity to have a career. It's been a great opportunity for me and my family. The Mid-American Industrial Park is creating careers and changing lives.
Also by
After finishing high school, I immediately got married and started my family. Without a college degree, I found that pretty quickly my options were limited. When I started looking around for a college program for working adults, I quickly found that Rogers State was a great fit. They worked with me to get financial aid, offered classes that fit my busy schedule, and gave me personalized attention that I couldn't get at a larger school. Rogers State definitely started me on my professional career.
plus by
Grand River Dam Authority is Oklahoma's state-owned electric utility, fully funded by revenues from electric and water sales instead of taxes. GRDA Electricity touches 75 of 77 counties in the state and serves as an economic development engine for all of Oklahoma. At no cost to taxpayers, GRDA also manages 70,000 surface acres of lakes, including Grand Lake, Lake Hudson, and the W.R. Hallway Reservoir. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity in Oklahoma.
and by viewers and members like you.